Everybody, it's Felisa. It is a beautiful day in my neighborhood. I'm on my way home, child. Yeah, it's been a long day. It's been a long week. It's been a long year, like decade. It's just exhausting. Anyway, it is raining and I'm kind of surprised. I don't know why. I feel like, the rain is coming along to give me some extra time to clean up my yard. It snowed, even though they told us that it was going to snow. The problem with that is kind of like, when you have hurricane warnings and I guess adverse weather anywhere, people become so immune to that if it's typical for that area. And half the time the weather people don't get it right. Well, this time they got it right, child. So it snowed and I had not cleaned up my yard, so I'm looking forward to being able to do that hopefully this weekend. And when I say I'm looking forward to it, I'm looking forward to being able to pay somebody to do that, because I don't mess around with nobody's dirt. Anyway, this is going to be an entry into Dating Chronicles. There's a couple of things I want to share in this vlog. The first thing is, I know that I said this a while ago, that when you are going through a breakup or you've had a breakup, particularly if it's been a breakup where there's been no communication, aka you were ghosted or you had the silent treatment or whatever. And if y'all haven't checked out those vlogs, they're probably about 2 or 3 years ago. I went into depth on those subjects, and I don't want to do that here. I just want to kind of give an overview and a refresher, because I'm telling y'all, just as sure as my name is what it is, when you're going through a breakup, stay off of your ex's social media. Stop following them, stop watching them. I think you're gonna get your feelings hurt, and if you get your feelings hurt and you start posting about that nonsense, you look crazy. You look crazy. And you might have some friends in your circle who send you information. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Stay off of people's social media so you don't get your feelings hurt. And if you're gonna lurk, don't post about it. Just go ahead and suffer. Take that L. Anyway, so y'all know that I'm dating, or at least trying to date, and I don't know where I am in this process, y'all. I really don't, because I find myself so no nonsense. And even though I kind of declared this to be a thing the last time, when I did the mistress vlog, I was like, I'm not doing this, that, and the third, blah, 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 and I still am sticking to that. But it's weird the way that my mind is starting to work now. Now, I've been praying for more insight and more, revelatory knowledge and more of the ability to fine-tune my intuition and fine-tune, my gift, and to accept my gift for what it is and stop pretending like I ain't got one. And that's been hard, because for the longest time I ain't really wanted, which is probably why I never was able to control it. So, I've been really thinking about making certain connections in my life as of late, which is when I start telling you guys this, you will understand what I'm saying, because the blind could have seen this, but I'm a firm believer that you don't see things until you're ready. You don't make connections until you're ready. And I am not somebody that believes in coincidences. So here we go. First thing is, I remember, probably about, I want to say 2013, 14, somewhere in there. I discovered that my parents were never divorced. Now, that is a story time in and of itself. But the crazy thing is that my mother, for all that time, assumed that she was divorced, because that's what my dad said that he was going to do. He was like, I'm about to file for divorce. My mom was like, okay then. So she, he went off and she went on with her life. And I didn't. If you see my daddy issues vlog, I hate to keep referring to my different vlogs, but if you want to know the stories, they're there, but I just don't want to make this one too long by rehashing it. But I am referencing a lot of stuff that I've already talked about. So if you've seen my daddy issue vlog, you already know that my dad and my mother separated when I was 6 years old. I didn't see my dad again until I was 26, and that was only because I hired a detective to find him. and we were able to reconcile. I was able to get some things off my chest, confront him about some things. One of the things that I will always cherish is the fact that he never made excuses for his behavior. He never made excuses for his behavior. He never made excuses for his decisions. And he took great pains and great care to make sure that he told me that what he did had nothing to do with my mother or with me. And that was a huge relief to me, because growing up, I always felt like it was something that I did. And I believe that contributed a lot to my overall lack of self-esteem. It definitely contributed to my abandonment, rejection issues. And I've been very candid in saying that I still have residual issues with that, although I'm working on healing. But when Casper ghosted me last year for the second time, it triggered all of that nonsense, and I have had to be really vigilant about how I respond and what I'm doing. It literally sent me into a tailspin, y'all. Like, I can't get too deep into that, but I've talked about depression and drinking and all kinds of stuff. Like, I've laid my heart bare about that. Anyway, so when I found out that my parents was married, like, this was the most comical thing. Like, this is a movie. Like, who does that? I mean, literally at the point that I found this information out, my parents technically have been married for like 45 years. You get vested after 10 years. Like, what fool advised you? Like, that's number one. Number two, why? Why would you do that? I have my own theories, but why would you do that? And I remember calling my ex, and I was like, let me tell you what happened. My parent, blah, blah, blah. I swear to goodness, when I remembered that happened and I see myself in this situation, I'm like, if I don't be doggone, like, seriously, I would have never made that connection. I really wouldn't have. But I always believe that God prepares you for things that are to come in a way that you may not ordinarily understand it or ordinarily be able to process it. Like, it really is like you've already been through this before, because you've seen it up close. You've had to deal with it. You've had to process it. It was funny for my parents. It was not funny for me. So I was like, oh my God. Second thing that I remember is that right before I met my ex, I wasn't really dating. I'll just call it seeing people. Like, I had people that I could go hang out with, that I could spend time with, have what I affectionately call the BFE. Go get a glass of wine, do adult stuff. You can refer for that what you want, but it wasn't like it was all I could handle, honest to goodness, because I divorced when I was 30. I had 4 kids, 1 through 12, and when I left my ex-husband, I had to start over. Like, I swear this is not a Bill Cosby, I had to walk 10 miles to school story, but I literally had to start over. I lost my house, I lost my car, my finances were shot, my credit was shot. I was an emotional wreck. It was just, and I had been going through all of this different stuff with my ex-husband. I was emotionally bankrupt. I really, really was. I didn't have nothing to give to nobody, and because I lost my car, I had to put my children in a cab. Y'all better not judge me. I had to put my oldest 3 children in a cab, send them to school. I waited on pins and needles until the secretary would call me. We had a routine. She would call me as soon as they hit the door. Hey, Fee, they're here. Then I would put my 1-year-old in a stroller and walk her 3 blocks south to the daycare, drop her off, take 2 buses to work. I swear to goodness, y'all, take 2 buses to work. I was in healthcare, and I was in pediatrics, so I was seeing kids all day, which in and of itself is just exhausting. Then I would do all of that in the reverse and go home. I was flipping exhausted, and I think that went on probably about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, thereabouts, until I was able to dig myself out of that financial hole, get a car, get some reliable transportation, and start the slow ascent back to health and wholeness. Well, after having gone through all of that, like, I didn't want no piece of a relationship. I didn't have nothing to cultivate a relationship with. I just really wanted somebody to snuggle with me, give me some kisses, and then I'll tell you, peace out, thank you, it's been real, I'll see you next time. And I literally appreciated the fact that I could control that narrative, because I literally only saw this guy if I called him. And I was fine with it. Like, don't call me, don't text me. That's not what I wanted. That would have been too much. Like, I couldn't handle that. I needed to control that narrative. I needed to be in control of that space, and I was. Well, there came a time, probably about 5 years after I divorced, maybe 6. Yeah, so about 6 years after I divorced, I started to really think, okay, this is cool and all, but this is not really what I want as far as meaningful interactions, and it's not a meaningful relationship. You know, I'm about to be 40, and I just don't want to carry this baggage into my 40s. And so that was 2008. I think I made a mistake on the Mistress vlog and said that me and Casper met in 2009. It was actually 2008. My apologies. Anyway, so that was like August. I remember it was August 2008. I called up my friend. I was like, hey fella, listen, it's been real. You know I love you, but you know that I don't really love you like that. And I know for sure you don't love me like that. This can't go anywhere. You know, we've had fun. I just would really prefer it if we go back to being friends. And he was like, you know, whatever you need, Fee, you know, I love you, blah, blah, blah. It was just always so easy because we had that understanding, and it was mutual. It really, really was. And so, and he respected my decision. I was like, yeah, I really want a meaningful, comprehensive relationship, and I wish you the same. And as long as I'm messing around with you, you just really serve as a placebo, which means that I can't get the medication that I need. And so he was like, okay, girl, God bless you, go God. So I said, oh, okay, so that was August. And I remember I started then saying, I'm ready for this relationship. I journaled every attribute that I thought that I wanted this person to have, you know, what kind of relationship I wanted, what kind of interaction I thought that I wanted, and, you know, put some parameters around it. And I promise y'all, it wasn't too much later before I met Casper. Now, you know, I was gonna insert a joke here, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to defame or malign him. Do I think that he was the one? He could have possibly been the one. He could have. And this is why I say that, because he chose not to be. Free will is a mofo. Like, free will is the moving target. It is the disruptor. It is the sabotager of everything that you think that you might want to do. It is the it is the problematic gift that we have been given, the ability to choose. And so while he could have been great for me if he had decided that's what we wanted to be, but he didn't decide that that's what he wanted to be, and he chose to be something else. And so therefore, when he chose to be something else, we became something else, and it no longer was what I actually was looking for and what I thought that I was manifesting. So I'll say that. I'm sorry, it's dry in here. So when I was in my bathroom the other day, and I mean, like, it just hit me. I'm like, I think I'm ready to date. I think, you know, I really want a relationship. I said it before I even thought about it. I really did. Listen, y'all, when I tell y'all that came out of my mouth in the morning, my inbox has been dry for months. When I tell you that I have friend requests from people, I'm like, do I know you? So, hey, how you doing? Have we met? No, we haven't met, but I saw you, blah, blah, blah. I mean, no less than 5 people in my inbox. Now, I'm pretty discriminating and pretty picky about who I friend, especially on social media. One of the reasons is because my page, if you happen to become my friend, you see pictures of my daughters. And while they're 20 and 24 and technically adults, they're not adult enough to me, which means that you got one time to be creepy pants on my page talking about my daughters, and I will kill you where you stand. No problem. Sorry, not sorry. Seriously, I will go off, and I have done that, and I've had to block people, and so I don't even play with my daughters in that manner. Don't do that. Don't do that. Admire and keep scrolling, boo. Admire and keep scrolling. The minute you start typing out responses and stuff on their pictures, it's on, and I literally will go off. So when men send me random friend requests and I don't know who you are and we don't really have friends in common that makes sense, I want to know what you want. period. So, this one particular guy sent me a friend request. I went back and forth with him. I'm like, okay, if I'm going to meet somebody, maybe this is the avenue. Maybe I shouldn't be so closed. Maybe I shouldn't be so narrow-minded. Maybe I shouldn't be so, whatever it is I am. Old, probably. I'm being my half a century self. Upset at the newfangled way that these children are doing things these days. I'm like my grandma. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll have some conversation with people. So it got to a point in our conversation where I asked him to tell me about himself. This whole thing irritates my whole entire soul. Like, let me tell y'all how much I loathe the whole getting to know you stage. Like, I just want to skip ahead to the, I see you for who you are, not your representative. I don't enjoy doing job interviews. I don't enjoy going on job interviews. I don't enjoy conducting job interviews. And honestly, it's crazy because I've been conducting job interviews all week. And I realize that people are sitting in my office because they want a job. I get it. And so they're telling me all these great things that they want me to hear. And I'm trying to figure out, like, so if I'm not looking at you, you do your job. And that's the same thing with dudes. Or I'm sure that they feel that way when they interview us. Anyway, so I asked him about himself. So he sent me, because we were chatting back and forth. And so he sent me his bio, literally. I'm like, oh, okay. So he mentioned that he was divorced. And y'all know that set off all kinds of red flags, right? I swear I had a 9/11, post 9/11 terroristic level 5 orange alert go off in my head like, oh, you married? Okay. I'm gonna need for you to run me this paperwork, sir. I did not say this, but this is what I'm thinking in my head. So I'm like, okay, it's like, oh, okay. So then in another conversation, a few days later, maybe even a week later, he asked me how long it had been since I've been out of a relationship. So I said, it's been about a year now, a year and some change. And I said, there's a backstory to that, but I really don't want to go into it. And the reason that I don't want to go into it was not because I don't want to talk about it, but because I told y'all I'm not giving out another dude no playbook on how to play me. So a lot of information I'm keeping close to the vest. Only Jesus and my closest friends know what's up. So I'm not telling you that. So I said, yeah, it's a long story. He's like, oh, well, maybe you tell me one day over cocktails. Okay. So then I said, well, how long has it been since you've been out of a relationship? So he told me 6 months. I'm thinking, he told me he was divorced for 2 years. I'm thinking he had a girlfriend, in these last 6 months. Then I asked him the question that I asked Casper. Do you think that there's a possibility that you may want to reconcile with your ex? He told me, oh no, when we left the courthouse, I wished her all the best. What you mean you left the courthouse? Didn't? And so I said, before I thought about it, I thought you said you had been divorced for 2 years. I can't even remember what he told me, honest to goodness, because none of it made sense. I do have this thing, just as an aside, I have something about me that is weird. Once you say something to me that don't make sense, I don't hear anything else that you said. I never do. I can't process anything else after that initial, what the F did you just tell me? Because my brain gets stuck on that, and I really spend a lot of time and a fair amount of brain cells trying to process what the F you just said to me, because it don't make no sense. So I didn't hear anything after that. Needless to say, we're not talking anymore. I quickly lost interest. Now, some of y'all might be like, oh, dang, Fee, you probably just misunderstood him, whatever. Listen, I'm not in that. When I tell y'all I'm not giving out nobody no extra time to string me along and tell me a whole bunch of lies and foolishness, I'm not doing that. I am not doing that. This is what we're not doing. This is how I'm not able to can with anything that you just said. And so, I'm finding myself really putting dudes under a lot of scrutiny. I wish I could be sorry about that, but I cannot. I'm going to preserve my own interests first. And so, I'm trying to take this approach of, let's just have some fun, right? Let's just see what people got to say. See how people present themselves. Because it's always interesting to hear a story, right? And I just feel like, you know, maybe this is just my introduction and getting my feet wet. But I pray to goodness that this is not a representation. And I ain't even told y'all about the other 3 dudes. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. So, you know, while I'm gonna go back to the drawing board with this manifestation thing, because I think I need to be more specific. I'm still going to be open and receptive and all those kinds of things, because I think that it's important for my heart and to continue to heal, and, you know, and most importantly, continue to see, you know, the humor of it all, of the interactions and the humanity and all that kind of stuff, and take it for what it's worth. You know, everybody presents themselves in a different way, and perhaps, you know, people are like, that girl Felisa, she is just da 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 da, and that's well within their rights to say so. And I keep saying that my ex probably does, and I'm sure he shares a lot of information, a lot of opinions about me, or maybe he's just suffering in silence. But I doubt it. Anyway, I'm Felisa. Y'all let me know what y'all think. How are y'all faring in this dating game? Especially, you know, my older, do I want to say older? My more seasoned viewers. What y'all doing? Like, seriously, what y'all doing? And how do y'all get through? Give us some pointers, because I just really want to just go by my cockapoo and, you know, make a fire in the fireplace and just go on by my business. Just say the heck with everything. I don't know. Y'all let me know, and I will talk to y'all later.